Okay, our next speaker is Thom Dennis. How very exciting. Thom, polymath and social entrepreneur. Thom has run Serenity in Leadership, the premier leadership development and culture change consultancy for 30 years. His passion about bringing awareness to those positions of power, those in positions of power and leadership, so that they can understand themselves more deeply, care more profoundly about the impact that they're having on the people in their organization that they touch both directly and indirectly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to bring to you surrendering to your purpose. Thom Dennis.
I'm standing up in front of you. It's not very comfortable. It's a risk. Is it a good risk? Is it in line with my life's purpose? Maybe. We'll see. There's an old Chinese proverb that talks about a farmer who had a son, and they had a stallion. And one day the stallion ran away, and all the villagers said, "Oh, this is such terrible luck, you lost your stallion." And the farmer said, "Maybe, we'll see." And a few days later, the stallion came back with 2 wild mares in tow. And all the villagers said, "Your stallion's come back and you have 2 new mares. How amazing, what wonderful luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe, we'll see." And a few days later, the son was trying to ride one of the mares, and he was tossed onto the ground and he broke his leg. And all the villagers said, "This is terrible. How are you going to run the farm without your son being able? It's such terrible luck." And the farmer said, "Maybe, we'll see." And the next week, the army press gangs came to the village, and they took all the young men away to war, except for the son, because he couldn't walk. You can make plans, you can react to events, but looking forward, it's really difficult to tell how things are going to turn out. So the more that we're in touch with our life's purpose, the more purposeful we can be whilst surrendering to our own purpose, whilst not knowing how things are going to turn out. When I left school, I had a place at university, and I decided to go to flying college instead. And everybody said to me, "That's a risk. You're giving up your place at university." And I said, "Maybe. We'll see." And 6 months later, when I was terrifying my flying instructors, they decided to terminate me. And everyone said, "Oh, that's such bad luck. You've been thrown out of the flying college." And I would have said, "Maybe, we'll see," but actually I was pretty gutted at the time. So one door closes, another one opens. And I got a job. It enabled me to carry on flying. And it gave me a route to the top of the organization. I mean, it was very clear that I had that route. But 3 years in, an easy way to the C-suite really wasn't for me. And I wanted to join the Royal Marines. And so that's what I decided to do. And everybody said to me, "You are crazy. You're giving this amazing route to the top of an organization." And my parents said, "This is a terrible decision." And I said, "Well, maybe. We'll see." So I joined the Royal Marines. I got my Green Beret, and I spent 17 very eventful years in the Corps. And there was a moment when, after the Falklands, I was in the Ministry of Defence, and we were beginning to see a lot of the veterans crashing and burning. They were turning to drugs, they were getting into crime. And I knew quite a lot about trauma and PTSD at that time, but it wasn't an accepted thing. There was no support for these guys. So I decided to take on the establishment. And I remember saying to myself, "This is a risk. You are going to make yourself so many enemies." But a couple of us, we clubbed together, and for 18 months we made ourselves unpopular. And eventually we knew we were right. We knew we were fighting for justice, for real right. And we won. And PTSD was accepted as a real affliction. And so these guys could get the support that they needed, which was so important. So the point is that over my life I've taken risks all the way along the way. And the rewards have not necessarily been predictable, and they often haven't been very comfortable. But what's been important to me is to be in touch with my intuition, my inner guidance, surrendering to what at some deep level I knew was right. So in those moments, what I was actually doing was living my life's purpose, even if I couldn't articulate what that life purpose was at that time. Life is a series of moments. It was Steve Jobs who said in his commencement speech at Stanford University in 2005, he said, looking forward, you can't see how the dots connect. It's only when you look backwards that you can see. So you have to trust that somehow the dots are going to join up. That is surrendering to your purpose. My purpose is to make organizations safe for people to work in. And is that the ultimate expression of my life purpose? I don't think so. And I'm open to developing as I'm ready, and that's my trust as I go forward. So we've all come here to the castle. We've all taken a risk. It's a week of our lives. It has a certain price tag. Is it a good risk? Is it a risk that's in line with our life's purposes? Maybe. We'll see.